Welcome back to Echoes from the Ward, the podcast that walks the decaying corridors of forgotten minds and locked down histories. I'm your host, Leo Vance. This week, this week is different. We're not exploring peeling paint and rusted gurneys today. We're going inside, deep inside. We've been granted unprecedented access to Blackwood Sanatorium, still operational, notoriously secretive, to speak with a patient who hasn't uttered a single word in 11 years. Not to staff, doctors, or anyone. His name is Arthur Finch, committed after the incident. Multiple homicides. Brutal. But Finch never confessed, never explained. He just went silent until last Tuesday. He started whispering. Not to anyone, they say. More like, for someone, or something. They wouldn't tell me what he said, just that it was enough to grant my long-standing request. An exclusive. The first words from Arthur Finch in over a decade. Stay tuned. This could be the one. I told myself to breathe calmly. It's just an interview. A big one, sure, the biggest. But just an interview. God, this place feels old, smells like disinfectant and something else. Dust? Despair. A heavy steel door buzzed loudly open, then clanged shut behind me. Footsteps became clearer, echoing on the linoleum. Dr. Thorne spoke, his voice slightly weary, professional. Mr. Vance, Dr. Alastair Thorne, Chief of Staff, thank you for coming on such short notice. And for your discretion, of course. I replied, Dr. Thorne, thank you for allowing this. It's quite an opportunity. Dr. Thorne continued, Indeed, Arthur's sudden vocalizations are unexpected. We felt an external perspective, documented, might shed some light. Frankly, we're baffled. 11 years of absolute silence, then this. I asked, what exactly did he start saying? Your email was vague. We stopped. A key jangled, unlocking another heavy door. Dr. Thorne lowered his voice. He whispers, constantly. To the walls, it seems, phrases, repetitive. They live inside. It wasn't me. Things like that. But the way he says it, it's unsettling the staff. I clarified. Unsettling how? Dr. Thorne explained, as if he's listening to something we can't hear, repeating dictation. Look, Mr. Vance, you have 1 hour. Strict. Recording equipment is fine, but no video, and absolutely no provoking the patient. If he becomes agitated, or if I feel the situation is deteriorating, I pull the plug immediately. Understood? I assured him. Understood, Doctor. Completely. Another heavy door opened, revealing a different acoustic space, smaller, less echo, but still sterile. A faint fluorescent light hum could be heard. Dr. Thorne said, Arthur is in interview room 3. It's basic, soundproofed mostly. An orderly is stationed outside. I'll be observing through the one-way mirror. Don't be alarmed if you hear the intercom. I nodded. Right. Okay. The door closed, leaving me alone. The hum seemed slightly louder now. The silence felt heavy. I unzipped my bag and started setting up the equipment. Clicks and light thuds sounded loud in the heavy silence. I whispered to myself, okay. Mic check, 1, 2. Levels look good. Recorder running. Deep breaths. This is it. The silent man speaks. A soft shuffling sound came from the other side of the room, barely audible. I cleared my throat and spoke normally. Arthur Finch. My name is Leo Vance. I'm here to talk, if you want to. They said you've started speaking again. Silence, just the hum. Maybe a faint creak from the building settling. I continued. It's okay. No pressure. I host a podcast about places like this, about people's stories. I just want to understand what happened. 11 years is a long time to be silent. A faint, dry whisper emerged, almost inaudible, like dry leaves skittering. Arthur whispered, his voice reedy, weak, barely used. Inside. They live inside. I leaned slightly closer to the mic. Inside? Inside where, Arthur? The whisper continued, slightly more distinct but still directed away towards the wall. In the walls. Always listening. Watching. I asked, who? Who lives in the walls? A longer pause followed. The hum seemed to fluctuate slightly in pitch. Arthur whispered, the watchers, the tellers, they speak. I asked, speak? What do they say? Arthur, look at me. Can you tell me what they say? A faint scraping sound, like fingernails on plaster, was barely audible under Arthur's whisper. Arthur whispered, told him what to do. He didn't want to. No, never him. I clarified. Told who what to do, Arthur? Are you talking about the incident? The reason you're here? Arthur shifted slightly, a soft rustle of clothing. Arthur whispered, he was just the mouth, the hands, borrowed, only borrowed. I asked again, borrowed? Borrowed by who? By the watchers in the walls. Suddenly I heard a slight crackle in my headphones, like interference on the line. Weird static. Interference in a soundproofed room. Arthur continued, they make the sounds, make the thoughts, put them inside. I said, Arthur, the police reports, the evidence, it all pointed to you. They said you confessed at the scene before you went silent. Arthur let out a low, breathy sound. Not quite a laugh, not quite a sob. Arthur whispered, not his words, their words, came through. The mouth, loud then, quiet now, for so long. Quiet, I asked. Why quiet? Why did you stop speaking for 11 years? The hum flickered again, a very faint, high-pitched whine underneath it for a second, then gone. Arthur whispered, punishment. They didn't like the noise, the attention. Made him quiet, sealed the mouth. Until now. I pressed. Why now, Arthur? What changed? Why are they letting you speak now? Or making you speak? Arthur turned his head slightly. The whisper gained a fraction more volume, a rougher edge. New ears. Listening. Curious ears. They like attention. Now they want to tell. I said, tell what? Tell me. That's why I'm here. Record is running. Tell me your side. Tell me what they want to say. A low click. Then Thorne's voice, slightly tinny, came over an intercom. Mr. Vance, just a reminder. Keep the questions neutral. Don't lead him. I was slightly startled. Right. Sorry, Doctor. Arthur, can you describe them? The ones in the walls. What are they like? Arthur's breathing became slightly heavier. The whisper intensified, losing some of the sibilance, gaining a guttural quality. Dark shapes, shifting, in the hollow places, behind the eyes, behind the plaster. Always cold. Touch is cold. Feel it on the skin, even now. A distinct tap sounded, just one. It seemed to come from the wall behind Arthur. What was that? Pipe settling, nerves. Focus, Leo, I thought. I asked, did they tell you why, Arthur? Why those people? The victims? Mrs. Gable, the Henderson boys. Why them? Arthur made a choking sound. The whisper fragmented. Wrong place. Heard too much. Saw. Behind. The cracks. They don't like. being seen, being known. I clarified. What did they see? What cracks? A low, distorted murmur seemed to bleed into the audio feed for a split second, like a radio tuned between stations, but organic sounding. I adjusted my headphones. That's not interference. That sounded like a voice underneath his. I checked the levels. Input looked clean. Weird. Arthur's voice grew stronger, less whispery, more resonant. They hear everything, every word, every secret whispered in the dark. They collect them, feed on them, live in the spaces words leave behind. I objected. That doesn't make sense, Arthur. Another tap, louder this time, from a different wall. Arthur's voice hardened, losing the weakness. Sense? Sense is a neat little box you build. They live outside the box, inside the walls that hold the box. They whispered the names. They showed the way. He just walked the path they paved. I asked, he? You keep saying he? Why not I? It was you, Arthur. You were there. Arthur laughed. It wasn't a whisper anymore. It was a dry, chilling chuckle that echoed slightly in the small room. It sounded deeper than his previous voice. Arthur said, I is a door. Sometimes it's locked. Sometimes others have the key. He was the room they rented, temporary lease. I felt a chill. Who is speaking right now? Is this you, Arthur? The fluorescent light overhead flickered audibly. A buzz. Buzz, Arthur replied, his voice smooth now, confident, almost conversational but cold. Arthur is the vessel, the receiver. Poor Arthur. He's been listening for so long he barely remembers his own thoughts. Do you feel it yet, Mr. Vance? The pressure in the room, the eyes you can't see. My breathing became audible on the mic now. I said, I feel the confinement. It's an intense place. Arthur said, oh, it's more than that. They're curious about you, your little machine, capturing echoes. They are echoes, you see. The residue of things unsaid, deeds undone, horrors buried in the walls. A clear, distinct whisper seemed to come from the left speaker channel of my headphones, separate from Arthur's voice. A distorted, cold voice whispered, listening. I jerked my head. What was that? Did you hear that? Arthur smiled faintly, though I could only hear the shift in tone. Hear what, Mr. Vance? Just the building settling? Or perhaps the residents are making themselves known? They get restless. I tapped my recorder. My equipment. It's picking up. Interference. Voices, Arthur countered. Not interference. Contributions. They want their side told too, not just through poor Arthur's mouth, through the static, through the gaps. Listen closely to your recording later. You'll hear them. Clear as a scream in the night. Another audio glitch. A word seemed to repeat rapidly, electronically. Scream, scream, scream in the night. I thought, okay, this is getting too strange. Equipment malfunction, maybe? Or is he messing with me? How could he? I asked. Arthur, this entity, these watchers, did they have a name? Arthur's voice dropped to a conspiratorial whisper, but strong, not weak. Names are cages. They are the hollow. They were here long before the bricks. They seeped in with the foundations. They'll be here long after the walls crumble. They are the silence that listens. I asked, and they controlled you? Made you commit those murders? Arthur's voice swelled, resonant, almost booming in the small space. Controlled, number guided, inspired, showed him the necessity. Those people, they were digging too close. Not with shovels, with words, with suspicions, trying to expose the rot. The hollow protects its domain. He became the tool of preservation, a messy tool but effective. A loud bang resonated through the room as if something heavy struck the wall right behind me. I yelped. I shouted, "Jesus, what was that?" The intercom crackled to life. "Mr. Vance, report. What's happening?" My voice was shaky. Something hit the wall. Hard. "Outside the room?" Dr. Thorne replied via intercom. "There's nothing in the corridor, Mr. Vance. Stay calm. Arthur? Arthur, are you all right?" Arthur was breathing heavily, but it sounded satisfied. A low chuckle rumbled in his chest. His voice returned slightly towards his own, but still strong. "Just the house settling, Doctor. Just the old house settling. Isn't that right, Mr. Vance? Sometimes things shift inside the walls." I swallowed hard. "Doctor, I think maybe we should wrap this up." Dr. Thorne agreed via intercom. "Agreed. 15 minutes left on the clock, but I concur. Mr. Vance, prepare to conclude," Arthur said. "Leaving so soon? But we were just getting acquainted. The Hollow. They were starting to like you. They appreciate a good listener." I said, I have enough, I think. "Arthur, final question. If this Hollow is real, if they made you do it, where are they now?" Arthur leaned forward. The sound of his chair scraping slightly on the floor was audible. His voice was a low, intense whisper, right near the mic. "Where do you think?" "They are in the cracks, in the silence, in the recordings, in the echoes. They travel, they spread, like mold, like whispers. They are right here." He paused, his voice becoming chillingly intimate. "Listening." Another burst of static on the recording, louder this time, followed by a clear, distorted, childish giggle, cold, seemingly from nowhere. I scrambled with my equipment. "Okay, done. We're done. Doctor, I'm coming out." I quickly packed, zipping the bag, fumbling clicks. The fluorescent light buzzed erratically. Arthur whispered, his voice back to the weak, reedy whisper from the beginning, almost pitiful. "Shh. Tell them it wasn't me. Just the mouth. Shh. Inside the walls. They live inside." I rushed to the door, fumbling with the handle. "Doctor, let me out." The door buzzed loudly, and I practically fell out into the corridor. The door slammed shut behind me. The institutional hum returned, seeming almost calming by comparison. I was breathing heavily. Dr. Thorne appeared beside me. "Vance, are you all right? You look pale. What happened in there?" "That noise," I stammered. I don't know. The walls, he just kept talking about the walls. And my recorder, it was picking up things, voices, noises. That bang." Dr. Thorne sighed heavily. "The acoustics in this old building are notoriously unreliable. And Arthur, his psychosis manifests in complex ways. Auditory hallucinations transferred, perhaps. Suggestibility?" I shook my head. "No, this felt different." The way his voice changed. It wasn't just him talking. And that bang was real. Dr. Thorne said, "I heard it too. We'll investigate, but nothing is in that corridor. Look, perhaps it's best you go. Get some distance. Review your recording in a neutral environment. Sometimes the intensity of the situation can play tricks on the mind." I replied, Yeah, maybe. Thanks again, Doctor, for the access." Dr. Thorne added, "Just be discreet, Mr. Vance. Whatever you think you heard, Blackwood has its reputation for a reason. Some things are better left undisturbed." My footsteps echoed as I walked away, faster this time. The sound of the sanatorium faded, transitioned to the sound of a car driving, rain hitting the windshield lightly. I thought to myself, my voice still shaky. Undisturbed. Right. Easy for him to say. What the hell was that? Psychosis or something else? His voice, it was like listening to two different people. And the sounds, the whispers on the tape. Need to get back. Listen properly. Calm down. Just the atmosphere getting to me. Has to be. The car engine cut off. The car door opened and closed. Keys jingled. My apartment door opened and closed. The atmosphere was quieter. Maybe faint city noise outside. I said aloud, "Okay, home, safe. Now, let's hear what we actually got." I set up the equipment again, plugging in cables, computer booting up sound, mouse clicks. I murmured, "Right, file transfer, Blackwood interview, Finch, play." Playback began. My voice was clear, as expected. Arthur Finch. My name is Leo Vance." Then silence where Arthur's first whispers should be. Just the room hum. I muttered, "What?" "No. Scroll forward." The sound of fast-forwarding, garbled digital noise stopped. My voice on the recording. "Inside?" "Inside where, Arthur?" More silence on the recording. Just hum. My breathing hitched. I insisted, "No, no, no." He was talking. Whispering, but talking. I heard him. The mic picked him up. The levels were fine. Frantic mouse clicks, scrolling through the audio file. I asked myself, where is it? Where's his voice? Stopped scrolling at a later point. My voice on the recording. "Arthur, the police reports. The evidence. It all pointed to you." Instead of Arthur's breathy denial, there was a low, guttural growl on the recording, distorted and deep. It cut off abruptly. I exclaimed, "What the? That wasn't..." Scrolled again. Stopped. My voice on the recording. Who is speaking right now? "Is this you, Arthur?" Silence again on the recording where Arthur's chilling reply should be. Then suddenly a burst of loud static, followed by the clear, distorted whisper I heard in my headphones earlier, but louder now, filling the recording. "Listening, curious ears." I backed away from the computer. Oh my God, it's worse than I thought. It's not missing. It's changed. Scrolled frantically to the end of the recording. My panicked voice played back, "Okay, done. We're done. Doctor, I'm coming out." Then, where Arthur's final weak whispers should be, the recording played something else entirely. A chorus of overlapping, discordant whispers. Cold, sibilant, menacing. In the walls. Always. Listening. New ears. Spread. Like mold. Inside. Inside. Listening. Listening. The recording cut off abruptly into digital silence. I was breathing heavily, maybe hyperventilating slightly. I realized it's not there. His confession, his explanation, gone. Replaced by them. The hollow. Thorne was wrong. It wasn't psychosis. It was real. They're real. I stood up, pacing the room. My footsteps were agitated on the floor. I wondered, what do? I can't release this. It sounds insane. It sounds like I'm the one hearing things. No proof. Nothing but this corrupted file and a story nobody will believe. I stopped pacing. Silence except for my breathing and the faint city hum. Then a faint sound began, almost imperceptible at first. A low hum seemingly coming from the walls of my own apartment. I froze. What? What is that? The hum grew slightly louder, deeper. A faint scratching sound accompanied it, like fingernails on drywall. Very close. I whispered, "No. No, it can't be. Not here." A distinct tap came from the wall near me. I whispered again, They travel. They spread. Like mold. I clamped my hands over my ears, but the hum seemed to resonate inside my head now. The scratching got closer. I cried out, "Get out of my head, get out!" I stumbled back, knocking something over, a lamp, a book, with a clatter. My voice trembled, starting to sound distant, less like myself. "Sss. Inside. They live. Inside the walls." The scratching stopped. The hum faded slightly. Silence except for my ragged breathing. I whispered, a horrible mimicry of Arthur's initial voice, listening. Always. Watching. I took a shuddering breath. Then another whisper escaped my lips, involuntary, emptier. Not me. Just the mouth. Borrowed. I looked towards my recording equipment, then towards the wall. A final, chilling whisper, barely audible. Inside. Silence. Then the faint sound of the podcast intro music started to play, distorted, skipping, and warped, as if playing from a broken machine. It glitched and faded into dead air.